You giving up your other stuff? I mean, how are you running your other businesses?
With great difficulty. Yeah, I mean.
But there's no turning back, you're saying?
I'm just here trying to make government more efficient.
I mean, we've all had those days when we've spent all day getting sucked into X, right? Like for whatever reason, you got sucked into some sort of conflict and you can't take your eyes off of the social media platform. The problem with Elon Musk is that's his everyday. How does he have this much time to post on X, Woz? How does he have this much time? It's insane. I don't have time to post on X. I go weeks sometimes without posting anything on X because I don't have the time. How does the CEO of multiple companies, a guy who's the head of a federal government agency, have this much time to post on X? Do you know?
Yeah, the guy's clearly addicted and he's on it at all times. And I'm sure he's in like group chats where people are like sending him memes and sending, oh, look at what this person said about Elon or posted about you or whatever. So it's not even just that he's on it all the time. I'm sure he has these mechanisms that are feeding it to him to make sure that he is kept abreast of, the latest praise that he's getting from his fawning cult members on the platform, right? And the truth of the matter is, if I was a freaking Tesla stockholder or, SpaceX or any of this other stuff, I would be pissed right now.
Well, we'll tell you why. Woz is correct in having that take because look, as a reminder, Musk is the CEO of multiple companies, not just Tesla, but also he's the CEO of SpaceX and CTO of X. He's not the CEO, but CTO of X. So today we're gonna focus on Tesla specifically because, well, take a look at this. This chart will show you Tesla's not doing so well. The stock for Tesla has taken a dip, to say the least, about 30% over the last week. So this is the 6-month performance chart for Tesla stock. And as you can see, it went up like crazy in the weeks after Trump got elected, peaking at almost $500 per share in mid-December. But since then, it's been tumbling. And as of writing this, Tesla's stock sits at $225 a share. So that's still pretty pricey per share, but it's not $500 per share. Like obviously he's struggling here. So in fact, yesterday was the single worst day for Tesla stock in 5 years. It went down a whole 15%. That also, by the way, reduced Musk's net worth by $29 billion. That's how rich he is. So it's kind of incredible. But what's behind the massive losses? Well, there's at least one reason is a large number of ongoing Tesla boycotts and protests are taking place right now. Some of these, the boycotts are fine. Obviously, you get to vote with your dollars. It's not a big deal. There are also people who are like vandalizing people's Teslas. Please don't do that. Please don't do that. Like, there are a lot of people out there who
the money's already spent, guys.
Yeah,
like Elon already got the bread. This is crazy.
Exactly. You're just victimizing normal Americans who might not even be aware of what's going on in the federal government. Not everyone is super political or plugged in, but nonetheless. So Bloomberg spoke to several Tesla owners who did sell their Tesla or do plan to sell their cars soon because of Musk's actions within the Trump administration. So one was a man by the name of Eric Thurber, who stated, "I couldn't handle what Elon Musk was doing anymore." Another Tesla owner says, "The pride and the good feeling I had driving in it is gone for me." He continues to say, "I always felt like if my vote didn't impact what I was wanting, the other way I can vote is through the vote of my wallet, whether it's Tesla or anything else. I've been voting with my wallet lately." And I totally understand that. Now, look, typically I would say that boycotts don't work, but obviously the Bud Light boycott worked when the right did it. So if this is actually a sustained, organized effort, it could really have an impact. And clearly, you look at the value of Tesla shares, and considering that massive, dip that we're seeing, these boycotts are working. So a self-described Tesla enthusiast by the name of Philippos told The Guardian that his breaking point was Elon's back-to-back Nazi salutes. So he says, I didn't want to be saddled with a vehicle that was associated with something so awful. When you own a vehicle like that, you are advertising for that company. And finally, Trump has stated that it is illegal to boycott Tesla, which is a totally preposterous thing to say. But nonetheless, he said it, and we're going to get back to that in just a second. But first, we should also note that unfortunately, some of the anti-Tesla protests have broken out into violence. So let's take a look at that.
From Oregon to Massachusetts, Tesla showrooms, dealerships, even charging stations are being set on fire or vandalized in other ways as anger spills out, stemming from mass layoffs and firings across several government agencies. The rage directed at Musk not contained to America's shores, with at least one international incident in which a woman allegedly set a dozen Teslas on fire in France.
Many dealerships, they have been picketed in recent weeks and even targeted in violent attacks. The latest violence in Tigard, Oregon, just outside Portland, where police are investigating vandalism involving gunfire on Wednesday. Lawful picketers are condemning any violence and vandalism.
You have a right to protest. We who served in the military said to give you that right, but not to up and destroy and shoot and burn and whatever. No, go protest. Stand up, scream and holler, get your bullhorn out, go do your thing, but no violence.
So Oz, like with any demonstration, any protest, you're always going to have a handful of wreckers who engage in illegal acts, violence, and that certainly happened in some cases on college campuses when pro-Palestinian protests are happening. Now the Trump administration is squashing pro-Palestinian protests entirely. You think that's going to happen in this case with the Tesla protests?
These are a little bit less organized, right? In terms of you can't organize a burning of a store. So you could probably stop people from protesting, but you're not going to stop people from vandalizing by some excessive show of force. And I think folks need to understand that the Tesla stock price and all of that stuff, folks gotta understand the nature of that stock price has always been overinflated. How do you become the richest man in the world by just selling cars? Toyota's not the richest company in the world. They sell way more Teslas than Elon does. That's because Elon's stock price is pegged to just people's belief that he's gonna turn Tesla into more than just a car company, right? It's gonna be self-driving, it's gonna be this, it's gonna be self-taxiing. You're gonna be able to rent your Teslas. He's always selling some grander vision that usually doesn't come to fruition, and that's what the stock price is indicative of. That's not to say he didn't turn Tesla into a profitable company. It is, but the profits made off of the cars that this guy sells, that's not what that stock price is based off of. So it is mostly just conjecture and fluff, to be honest. And I'm not surprised that this thing has sort of turned itself around because he's made himself into a polarizing public figure. And so when you're not selling your cars to every possible customer anymore, I'm not surprised that things are looking bad now.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point. And when you have an overinflated stock, it's going to be a little more turbulent or a little more sensitive to some of the disruptions that could happen. And in this case, the boycotts are certainly a disruption. But it's not just happening in the United States. I want to be clear about that. So after, briefly, as we briefly mentioned in that clip, so the anti-Tesla movement is very much international. So sales have cratered in key global markets, with Tesla's European sales nearly halving. They've gone down by half in January, and it's China's sales plummeting 49% in February. Germany's Tesla's biggest European market, saw a 76% drop. By the way, just going back to what Woz was saying, he had mentioned Toyota. Obviously, Toyota doesn't sell Teslas. He misspoke, but obviously, Toyota sells way more electric vehicles compared to Tesla because they're more affordable. Now, Trump has weighed in on these protests, and he wrote this on Truth Social. To Republicans, conservatives, and all great Americans, Elon Musk is putting it on the line in order to help our nation. And he is doing a fantastic job. I know, right? But the radical left lunatics, as they often do, are trying to illegally and collusively boycott Tesla. Since when were boycotts illegal? I mean, we're not boycotting Israel. I mean, that's the only type of protest that our politicians will make illegal. But like, what are you talking about? Anyway, he continues. One of the world's greatest automakers and Elon's baby, in order to attack him and do harm to Elon. In any event, I'm going to buy a brand new Tesla tomorrow morning as a show of confidence and support for Elon Musk, a truly great American. Why should he be punished for putting his tremendous skills to work in order to help America, to make America great again? So Laura Trump, the president's daughter-in-law and host of My View on Fox News, took it a step further last night. Here's what she said to Sean Hannity.
They're going after his businesses. They're vandalizing property. They're doing any and everything they can to this man. And it's really horrific to see, because what is Elon getting for all of this? Much like Donald Trump, he didn't need this job, Sean. He's not taking a salary. It's actually laughable every time you hear these people on the left say Elon's enriching himself and his friends. You just talked about it. This guy is losing money because of what he's doing, but he understands the importance of this moment. We cannot continue in perpetuity spending the way we are. We cannot survive as a country. So people ought to be kissing the feet of Elon Musk and Donald Trump for being the two people to actually do this. But these folks on the left are going to continue down this path. And you know what? They're going to continue to lose the support of the American people. They ought to be ashamed of themselves, but I know not a single one of them is. When history looks back on this time in America, I do believe that it will be Donald Trump and Elon Musk who were reflected as two of the saviors of this country and really of the entire world.
Okay, I condemn the vandalism, any act of violence. She's right about that. I want to be clear, and I've already said it. But he just got a $400 million contract from the federal government. He's going to be all right. Okay.
Yeah, that was just the Tesla contract. Starlink. He's got plenty of those government contracts around the world. Which is not to mention SpaceX. You saw the tweet when he tweeted, "Oh, NASA is a waste of time." Basically, let's replace it with SpaceX. Give me that billions of government funding. And the thing that makes me the most sick about Elon and his ilk, these Milton Friedman, basically cult members, Chicago School of Economic type of people, all they talk about is libertarian this, government evil this, social services and goods this are horrible, blah, 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 blah. And all privatization is, folks, is instead of having a public school that the government pays for and runs, no, you still have a school. It's just ran by one of Elon's homies. So it's the same, just public money, tax money going directly into their pockets. It's not icky for them. Whenever they get tax money, it's great. When we get tax dollars working to our benefit, we're supposed to look at it as, cooties. And so this idea that his stock price goes down, he's losing all this money, it's crapola. He's getting plenty of money and more Pentagon contracts, and God knows what else the grift is now that he's up there at DOGE.
Now I want to fast forward to Donald Trump, the very last video here, because he did get in on the action. And he did a little ad for Tesla himself. Let's take a look.
The car that I drive is the Model S flat.
Which is that one?
That red one in the middle.
I like that. Yeah.
It's 0 to 60 miles an hour in 2 seconds. It's faster than a Ferrari.
I don't know if my people can handle it. They're going to be using it more. I'm not allowed to use it. This is beautiful. Whoa! Should I get in?
Get in.
Okay.
Have you ever sat
Let me get in a
wheel on one of these? Of a Tesla?
You want my notes?
Yeah.
They gave me notes. I said, I'm not Biden. I don't need notes. This is a different panel than I've had. Everything's computer. That's beautiful. Wow.
Everything's computer. Yeah.
That was a sick commercial. And don't you just want to run out and buy a Tesla right now? Just keep it running.
And it's not just about Tesla. Like the cat's out of the bag. I hate electric cars. I hate them. They're inconvenient. I hate the way they sound. I hate the way they feel. I hate the idea that a fast charger will take 45 freaking minutes. Ooh, let me go find a random parking lot somewhere where I can like sit around for 45 minutes to charge my electric vehicle that has a battery that's super toxic. We don't know where to, throw it away where it won't be harmful to the environment. Oh, by the way, we're probably going to engage in wars in order to mine for lithium all across the globe. It's great. We're doing wonderful in saving the planet. By the way, the onus is on you. Get yourself an EV because they're going to be banned in California soon. Gas-powered cars. Yeah, that's where I'm at with the electric cars. I need them. Sorry.
I'm not gonna lie. The one thing I do like about Teslas is the pickup. That thing does have some incredible acceleration. You are just zooming through people, especially when you're merging on a highway or at a red light and you want to cut somebody off. It's really good for that stuff. But it's like really like kind of cheaply made, and so it falls apart. The wear and tear factor is horrible on those cars, man. They just fall apart quickly.
But you make a good point about like the 0 to 60 with Teslas. I mean, especially in a place like Los Angeles where you have a lot of opportunity and a lot of open roads.
You got to drive at night, Anna. You got to drive at night.
Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows. Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.